Lara, a native of South Africa, is an experienced war reporter, but Tahrir Square became her most hazardous assignment. The night of the 11th, a mob turned on Lara and her 60 Minutes team and singled her out in a violent sexual assault.
Our camera battery went down. And we had to stop for a moment, and suddenly Baha looks at me and says, "We've got to get out of here."
Baha is not happy here?
He's Egyptian, he speaks Arabic, and he can hear what the crowd is saying.
Yes.
He understands what no one else in the crew understands.
That's right. I was told later that they were saying, "Let's take her pants off." And it's like suddenly, before I even know what's happening, I feel hands grabbing my breasts, grabbing my crotch, grabbing me from behind. I mean, it's not, you know, one person and then it stops. It's like one person and another person and another person.
As she was pulled into the frenzy, the camera recorded her shout.
Stop! And I'm screaming, thinking, if I scream, if they know, they're going to stop. You know, someone's going to stop them, or they're going to stop themselves because this is wrong. And it was the opposite. The more I screamed, it turned them into a frenzy. And I feel them tearing at my clothing. I think my sweater was torn off completely. My shirt was around my neck. I felt the moment that my bra tore. They tore the metal. And I felt them tear out. They literally just tore my pants to shreds. And then I felt my underwear go. And I remember looking up, when my clothes gave way, I remember looking up and seeing them taking pictures with their cell phones, the flash. It's about staying alive now. I have to just surrender to the sexual assault. What more can they do now? They're inside you, everywhere. So the only thing left to fight for was my life.
It was a fight she endured about 25 minutes.
The attackers, who also targeted this area outside the main station, are described as young men of Arab or North African appearance. Starting on the square in front of Cologne Cathedral, hundreds then made their way through the city, where dozens of women were sexually harassed, assaulted and mugged on New Year's Eve.
But she and her mother were insistent that they wanted the world to know.
Die wussten, wo sie sind. Die hatten nicht vor, in die Hosentaschen zu gehen. Nein, die wussten, an welchem Körperteil sie sich befinden. Die haben gezielt. Und das heißt, die mussten wirklich unter meine Jacke sich fummeln, um überhaupt an meinen Po und vorne dran zu kommen.
Michelle goes on to describe in graphic detail an horrific sexual assault by multiple men.
Unten drunter, unter meiner Jacke, immer mehr. Das war so unangenehm, das können Sie sich gar nicht vorstellen. Das war wirklich grapschend an den Pobacken. Und das war ekelhaft, wirklich. Es war nicht schön, wirklich. Ich weiß auch gar nicht mehr, was ich jetzt weiter dazu sagen soll. Wenn ich das jetzt weiter so ausführe, dann fange ich nachher an zu heulen.
20 or 30 men, foreign men, of course, surrounded us, and we couldn't even move anymore.
And what did the men do?
They just grabbed our arms or tried to, like I said, tear us apart and pushed our clothes away and so on, and tried to get between our legs or I don't know where, and just got everything we had in our pockets and so on.
It must have...
Von allen Seiten angegrapscht. Mir persönlich sind sie total in die Jackentaschen gegangen.
Dann habe ich versucht, nach jemandem hinter mir zu schubsen und habe dann irgendwann Panik gekriegt, als ich gemerkt habe, dass sie auch versuchen, mich festzubringen.
Die Leute dann halt an, noch mehr uns hin und her zu schubsen und ja, dann wurden wir auch begrapscht, mir wurde zwischen die Beine gegriffen.
Ist aber auch, solche sexuellen Übergriffe gibt es nicht nur an Silvester, aber nur wenige sprechen darüber. Laura und Marie hatten vor einiger Zeit ein ähnliches Erlebnis. Die beiden 15-jährigen Mädchen wurden beim Stadtbummel in der Nähe von München von zwei jungen Männern aus einer Flüchtlingsunterkunft bedrängt.
Police and witnesses continue to speak of a group of up to 1,000 men groping and often robbing women at Cologne's main railway station on New Year's Eve.
This is not a situation that's normal in Germany or in any Western country, and we are all very shocked that this could even happen, especially at an event like New Year's Eve.
Übergriffe auf Frauen in diesem Ausmaß gab es noch nie.
Being in a group of men and then like later being robbed and like being in a crowd of men touching dead women, yeah, that's new. We didn't have that before.
The victims say the attackers were of Arabic and North African appearance, fueling pre-existing tensions between Eastern and Western values and sexual attitudes. Well, accusations like this, in a country where 1.1 million asylum seekers were taken in just last year, lead to internal divisions. Here are just a few of the women who claim to have been attacked. This victim describes being touched everywhere by a group of men in the main station. While this woman expresses her outrage at police incompetence, saying they were so understaffed that women had no option but to endure the assault.
Authorities in the Austrian city of Wels have slapped a curfew on young migrants in response to a series of sex attacks at a wine and beer festival. It came after underage asylum seekers from Afghanistan assaulted 17 women at the Welser Volksfest festival.
193 complaints, and you see it's already increasing all the time.
It's just the latest incident of sexual assault involving refugees. Women were assaulted on New Year's Eve in the German city of Cologne, and similar cases have also been reported in Finland, Sweden and Denmark.
Unbelievable. What's happening in Europe is tragic, and it's all detailed in Hasta la Vista Europe. Why aren't more people talking about this? Where's the outrage? Who will save Europe?